So guys, it's time to ask a piercer. How do you know your piercing is infected? This happens all the time to me. I have people call me all the time, oh, I had a piercing, but I had to take it out because it got infected. That right out there tells me that your piercing was never infected. If you took a piercing out because it got infected and you didn't die, then it wasn't infected. Okay, I'm being dramatic by saying die. But if you took a piercing out and because it was infected and you didn't get terribly, terribly ill, it was not infected. A piercing is a foreign object in your body, so it's going to get red, irritated. You can have it for like 2 years, it's going to get red and irritated. If it gets swollen, hot to the touch, if you're pale enough to see like a red line going towards your heart, if it starts to pus like red, green, brown kind of fluid, that is infection, and that means get to either a reputable piercer or get to a doctor. If you take a piercing out when it is infected, when it actually is infected, you are trapping an infection into your body, and that will make you terribly ill. Now, as for irritation, you are going to have piercings that randomly, I had this lip piercing for about 15 years. And out of nowhere, it would just get red and irritated. It's part of having piercings. It's your body trying to push this foreign object out. Having this piercing being red does not make it infected. If it's a whitish yellowish fluid coming out of it, that's actually healing. That's a good thing. If it has a bump on it, that's not usually always a bad thing. If you have any questions and you went to a good piercer, you should be able to go back to that good piercer and be like, hey, what is this about? If you can't go back to that piercer, go to any shop in town that has a good reputation for piercers and ask them questions. Do not Google it. Do not go on YouTube. Think about it. On YouTube, they're not going to put any of the good stuff on there. They're not going to be like, hey, this is what a really good piercing looks like. They're going to put all the horror stories. Same thing before you get a piercing. Don't go on YouTube. You're not going to get any, it's not going to make you feel better. It's going to make you not want to get that piercing. As for pain-wise of piercings, everyone's different. I think cartilage piercings fucking suck. Like, I have a ton of piercings, but I will never get my nostril pierced ever again because I think they fucking hurt so bad. But then I've seen people who have like no piercings get their nostril pierced like 7 times and never have a fucking issue with it. The best thing you can do is just realize it's probably going to hurt. It's not going to be the end of the world, and it's totally fucking worth it if it's something you really want. So just use a little common sense, and if you don't know an answer to something, ask a piercer. That's what they're there for. And if the piercer wants to answer your questions, then stop going to that piercer. All right, tip it. Bye, guys. Bye. So I realized I didn't give you guys any actual advice on what to do if your piercing is irritated and you can't get to a piercer, because it's not always very optional. Like, I'm lucky, if I didn't work at a shop, my piercer's like right down the street, but it doesn't work that way for everybody. So let's say your piercing is red, sore, and it's secreting a whitish yellowish fluid, which means it's not infected, but it's irritated. If that is the case, first things first, you never want to clean any piercings with things like dial soap, hydrogen peroxide, alcohol, any of those things. They are, like things like alcohol are meant to clean, can clean wounds. However, they're really, really harsh. Anything really harsh is going to dry your piercing and just give it a bigger issue of getting irritated to then infected. Also, if you are wearing a hoop in anything that is irritated, your probably best bet is to put a stud in it if possible. Like, for example, say my lip is irritated. Taking this out would help because this can spin around a lot and it can cause germs to get into the piercing, okay? Also, we recommend using things like H2 Ocean, which is basically just sterilized water and sea salt. You can also use wound wash saline, which is not the same stuff that you use for your contacts. Wound wash saline is in the first aid department of most drugstores. If not, if desperation hits, it's like 3 in the morning and you can't make it anywhere, you can use sterile water, preferably bottled distilled water, and sea salt, not table salt, sea salt. Make a little mixture of that, and that would work for the time being. That's only desperation. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna do 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. So in the morning after you've taken your shower, all that kind of stuff, you wanna do a nice deep cleaning, which means you're gonna clean around the whole entire piercing very thoroughly. Of course, it doesn't count for like tongue piercings. Tongue piercings, of course, alcohol-free mouthwash, but I'm sure you don't want to put, you know that. If not, you know now. And then once a day, you want to do a compress or a soak. And basically, depending on the piercing, if it's like a nostril, like bridge, that kind of stuff, you're not going to be able to do a soak because soak involves using like a shot glass full of H2 Ocean, wash saline, whatever, and putting it on the piercing. Obviously, you can't do that in your nose. So you take a paper towel, you spray it down with the H2 Ocean or whatever your mixture is, put it in a little plastic bag, put it in the fridge. That will actually help with swelling as well. So basically you take it, after an hour, or not even that long probably, about like 30 minutes tops. Take it out of the fridge, take that compress, and place it right in the piercing for about 15 minutes. It's like if it's like your nipples or your navel or like that, you can actually take your little shot glass. You want to fill it about halfway with the saltwater solution, and you're just going to cup it right over the piercing, and you're going to hold that for 15 minutes. You can do that every single day for a week. If you do that every single day for a week, where you're cleaning it 3 times a day, and also, you know, do the soak, and you're still having problems, then it's time to probably go to a piercer. Also, jewelry-wise, you want to have implant-grade surgical steel, so 316L surgical steel. If it doesn't say 316L, but says surgical steel, still not worth it. Titanium also is pretty decent. Gold is iffy. Some people can wear gold and have no issue whatsoever, but you are going to pay a freaking arm and a leg. If you find a cheap piece of gold, like a piece of gold buy jewelry that's low priced, it's probably crap. A lot of gold also has nickel in it, so you probably don't want to use that if you can prevent it at least. They do actually make some gold plating titanium, which is semi-good, but gold is just not that good. But that way you have a little idea of what to hear. After you also want to do like the stuff that you did when you first got the piercing. Like if it's the oral piercing, change your toothbrush. If it's a face piercing, change your pillowcases and your sheets, change your towels, change, you know, just common sense stuff. If after the first week there's not even a single change in your piercing and you've done everything, then you probably need to get to a piercer. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Alright, bye guys, for the last time, I promise.